Hello, Hika. We'll jump in about a minute or so. So yes, hello everyone. It has been a while, and I'm sorry for that. All we have left for the park is the mission Gravity, which I paused so we can probably watch the cutscene again. No, it won't show us again. So we got the plans, and we learned that we can look at the plans.
Temporary abilities acquired.
With Winter's monocle, and there are hidden messages. We saw this nice circuitry that kind of starts at the bumper cars and loops down here. So, turn that off because it's a little weird. Oh, and I did pick up a couple of the winter goodies that have started dropping. We have a new pet. This is the Figuros Paduri, which we'll see more of these when we get to Romania. They're strange tree women. She dances. Comes with cute little lights. And I got the malevolent snowflakes, which are jack-o'-lanterns for the Christmas season. And I got a stack of snowballs. If we run into any people, we can throw snowballs at them. I got some new equipment too. We have this nice Radiant Spectral Essence. So whenever we hit an enemy below 50% health, we can potentially summon a ghost that will just come blow things up. Pretty much, yes. I got the Warp Visage, which I was kind of lucky to find. This is like the best in slot, which gives us a higher chance to make doppelgangers when we do our paradoxes. So yes, we have some assorted loot. And we are following our little yellow trail here, and we can get some glass. Yes. And here is our new ghost friend. So I think... yes, we have another copy of the plans. So we should be able to get out our monocle if it will cooperate with me. Please. I'd like to wear the monocle. Thank you. And now if we add the red glass we just picked up, we can now see the red markings on the plans, which lead us over to the Octatron. We'll see if we can get this mission done before our winter version of Jack shows up. Have a third copy of the plans. And some blue glass. Well, it isn't actually Jack this time, it just kind of works the same way. 2 minutes past the top of the hour, 40-man raid. But we have someone new this time. Get our monocle back out. Now with the blue lens. And our new copy of the plans. And they lead down around here by the roller coaster. We should maybe be able to see them. Yes. Here are our blue lines. I think somebody else is doing that mission at the moment. Yes, there is. The park was designed as an engine. Alas. But yeah, as people came and rode on the rides, the engine of the park would siphon like their joy, their fear, etc. from them to help power itself, and it was channeling that energy into Winter. Because he was a very fearful man who had no particular magical talents of his own, and it granted him immortality of a sort and turned him into the boogeyman, ultimately. So, we have a fourth plan, and yet we only have the 2 types of glass. So what we can do, perhaps, is combine them. And here is the purple trail. And a zombie. Oh, and Krampus. So this is part of the Krampus Nacht event. Krampus is all over the place. Do enough damage to him, he runs away. And I actually killed him too quickly there. I'm sorry. But if he starts to run away, he'll open up a portal. And if we kill him before he can get through the portal himself, then we can use it. And he has a unique drop for every map that I didn't get this time. But he also has other assorted goodies. Yeah. Oh, what a shame. They should be all over the place. I'm sure we'll find more later. And our map led us to this little shack. So let us get out our monocle. Pretty sure it should be here. Here it is. we will complete the diagram. So here is our circuitry path. And we are going to overload the circuit in a way that probably shouldn't work. But I believe it's just a matter of activating everything in reverse to how we found it. And now, in theory, the park should be dead. Along with those guys, who are also very dead. Nathaniel Winter believed he could obtain occult power in 4 easy steps. Find the architect who sails the Calypso deep. Outbid the Phoenicians for his anima capacitor design. Use the design to build a park that harvests occult energy and fuse it into himself. Countless deaths and dollars later, one must conclude that occult power requires much more than deep pockets and the screams of children. It was an enlightening test. We learned how someone with near infinite means would go about constructing a capacitor. Perhaps more importantly, we learned how far a man would go to acquire what he could never have. The architect has been informed of the results. For our work, we got an eye patch. So that should be it for the park, other than finding Winter himself when it turns midnight, which I may have to do off screen. Yes, hello. Oh, I saw the... I don't know how lucky I'll be with A, paying attention to the clock time, and B, actually finding when he spawns. The only other thing we have left at the moment is Stranger Than Fiction, which will take us out to the lighthouse. But first, next part of Dawning of an Endless Night should be close by. And we're going to bother some more Phoenicians, I believe. And hey, there's more Krampus. We'll hit him a bit more lightly this time. He runs off. And opens a gate for us. And we will hop over to Niflheim. Yeah. And here we are. Warm and cozy Niflheim. We have some nice decorations. Bunch of goatmen. We got a present from Krampus. And this one, we got some underwear. Yes. Well, when we find the big one, we should get some nice loot. We got loot boxes, I suppose. We can currently are dropping the winter cache. We've got a couple keys. We got some more snowballs, some other bits and bobs. Yeah, about the same. Some currencies. Can use those on my weapon. They're nice. Can't do anything with these yet. We don't have those.
Critical empowerment results. Critical empowerment results.
And a quick, easy way to find the Krampuses is, if you've noticed them in the background, they make a little snow poof when they spawn in. Makes them easier to see, a little bit anyway. We might not get to... Yeah, we'll head to Garth, I think, instead. Get that special boss. We can always come back for more Krampus killings. Let's go see the special boss. Yes, special bosses always open at 2 minutes past the hour. And we're in the same time zone. I don't think Neil has any cool Christmassy outfits I can put him in. Perhaps we will win some. Because this is hell. Yeah. It'd be like that sometimes. can appreciate her nice feet. Now my ghost is starting to proc. And somebody has a golem. Hell doesn't have any big scary attacks like Jack does with hysterical laughter. Just kind of vaguely watch the floor for ice attacks. At least this version of Hell, anyway. Here she is. Let me tell you a story. A girl is punished by her father. In the beginning of winter, he carries her to a nearby lake and hangs her between two trees. Half of her body is submerged in the freezing water. And half is left in the open air. Slowly, her submerged skin shrivels and blackens. The pain wounds her, tears her soul in two, and with the eye that rots in her submerged face, she begins to see the shadows of the world beyond ours. Every touch of death, every ravage of time, on every living thing. Her father returns and cuts her free. He gives her a drink of something wonderful that warms half her body. "Father, why was I punished?" she asked him quietly. "Punished? Why, you have been blessed," Loki said. They often are. Let's see what loot we got for that. Yep. Oh, now we can just emote to throw snowballs. That's always fun. We also got some pants. Yeah, just a little bit. And Agartha has been beautifully decorated for the season. The people are also beautifully decorated. There are also the special holiday bosses that have popped up on all the maps. I don't know. Yes. It's very warm in Agartha. Just perpetually kind of warm and humid, and the bees like it. We're going to head... This one's probably the closest. I don't know if Neil is actually strong enough to take on this boss, but we can show it off. And we need some rats.
Local bounty detected. Initiating.
He probably is. I have trouble with this one sometimes, even on Crowley, because of how it works. It has a counter effect that it puts on with a certain ability. Maybe they're early. So I have semi-frequently just kind of blown myself up on it. Can't remember exactly how many rats we need. Four or five, I think. Have 4 rats. We'll get a 5th one just in case. Only need 4. And it's marked it on the map. There's now a pentagram up here. And 1 rat has already been placed. We shall place the other rats, I think, if it will let us. Yes. And a rat. And a rat. Please get out of the way, sir. And the final rat. And we get tragedy. Okay, so they have automatically scaled to our level. And there they go. So yeah, the misdirect will reflect damage back on you while it's active. We got a little buff thing. And then there is another mission that kind of connects to all the bosses. And there's a chance when they're defeated they'll drop a cell phone in addition to their normal loot, and then that will lead into the other mission. But again, Neil is low level, so I don't know if it'll spawn or not. we'll head over back to the Savage Coast. And now we'll go bother those Phoenicians. And or any Krampuses we can find. Which one just spawned over there? In this stream, we will get absolutely nothing I intended to do done, because we have to go bother people. Loot. Portal. Leave before the zombies get me. This present. We got socks. Alas, no presents for zombies. Can probably show off the other Christmas mission on Crowley's account. I don't know how entertaining it might be. As I recall, it's another one that does a lot with ciphers. Which are all well and good and fun to figure out, but I mean, I don't know how interesting that'll be to watch work out on stream. No, it's not a requirement or anything. It's just kind of there. But for beating all the regular Krampuses around this area, we summon a big one. he is down.
Quick access inventory updated.
And we got some Krampus rockets and the horns of Krampus. And we can look a little more intently at this nice pattern on the floor. It's hell! So what we do is the horns of Krampus and the unique item for every other map can be used on this image, painting, drawing. And if you have all of them, you can summon a special hell fight. Which, I mean, she's harder than the 40-man one, just to take one. On Crowley Blog, I had to make my friend Pim help with her, just because I needed a little bit more healing than Crowley was capable of. But yeah, we only have the horns, so I forget where they get used. We've got Fenrir and Jormungandr over here. But yes, fun stuff. I think he died for me, my friend. But those few extra couple hits he could take for me, I did get her beat that time. And these Burning Sand Badland, Land of Little Slayers, these all correspond to the different maps, and we can just kind of jump to any of the ones we've been before. So, Town of the Hungry Sun, Dim Dark Woods, Mountains That Bite, I think those are the Carpathians. Mountain of Helblar, that's Blue Mountains, Town of the King's Mute Mouth, Kingsmouth. We want the Land of Little Slayers. And it will put us back in Savage Coast. But you can also just use that to jump to any place where you would say need Krampus's items still. Oh, and it put us right next to the lighthouse, actually. We'll drop off the Stranger Than Fiction since we're here. Get the Irachi group lore. Have you ever had the falling dream, sweetling? Falling, always falling. You fall so far. You fall into the unconquerable sun. The stars go out. You can hear a star scream for eons and eons after it's died. Awake, in the dark, the flicker glow of the TV, a reassuring commercial for Psycho Energy bleeds into a staccato ad for Diet Zagan Cola, an acrid aftertaste of carcinogen rapture. You reach for a can, synthetic, no sugar. Weep for the false sweetness, pleasuring your tongue even as it eats your brain cells. You doze. Yes, I'm in the lighthouse. Where do you want me to do the thing? It's the best. Game. Ah, there we go. There's our Wendigo. And just because it's fun, we can jump. Whee! But I do want to get Dawning of an Endless Night done. Sorry, all we have are Wendigos. There may be trolls later. Do we not like trolls?
Local bounty detected. Initiating.
Well, yes. They just aren't native to this region. Oh, look. It's Phoenicians. There's a piece in the park. Henry found something on the old barn by Winter that might point to the second piece. Follow up on it. And then we killed them. Oh. Please stop running. I wish to kill you. Come back. Ma'am. 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 Come back, please. Ma'am. League of Monsters. Help me. Damn, fight me. There. Whew. That was more work than it needed to be. The smoke settled. The Wendigo lay dead. In victory, the boys convinced themselves that they and their weapons were special. When the others went home to brag of their exploits, Jackson Miller returned to the academy, hid his toy weapon, and confessed. The faculty of Innsmouth Academy are no strangers to covering up the supernatural. They incinerated the beast's carcass in the school boiler room. Jackson received official reprimand, but among his fellow students, he became a legend, the boy who killed the Wendigo. But where were we? There was another boss I wanted to do as we ran by. Yeah, the discarded gift. Excuse me, I was looking at my map. The poor ghost shows up and then there's nothing for them to do. The zombie curse stretches into varied manifestations, some by design, some by vicious chaos. We see them. We see the fast zombie. See how they run! The most common of Kingsmouth's zombie population. Their flesh and sinew is fresher, their movements more spry. These are the recent townsfolk of Kingsmouth, called into the ocean by a siren's call. Familiar faces in the strange decay. This one, if I can find him. There. We get a present. And then attacked by the groundskeeper. And my inventory is filling up. And I can sell that later. Cleansing. Cleansing. Everybody loves inventory management. I want both of those. Stick those up there. Oh. Guess I got that one.
Local bounty detected. Initiating.
Well, yes. We see Nathaniel signing the document to purchase the Henderson farm. We see what is embedded in the soil. We see the years of methodical attention to detail, the placement, the geomancy, the machines churning kinetic and preternatural energies, storing them over time. And we see the bright paint and lights that mask the true intention. An amusement park was the perfect engine, with the added harvest of child laughter. There were screams, too, of course, accidents. An employee in a chipmunk suit went on a rampage with a knife. The engine churned urban legend black and thick, and Nathaniel Winter vanished into that gooey murk after it closed down. Then came the boogeyman. His hauntings were initially fixed. Now he has reign to roam the creeping nooks and crannies of the park. If you confront him in these wandering sweetling, then we have one more morsel to share. And that is the one that is around midnight in-game time that I will try to get. And these charming scarecrows were made by Old Man Henderson to protect his surviving daughter after one was killed by a Wendigo. He had a son that went to Innsmouth Academy during one of the times it blew up. His wife killed herself. So he kind of went overboard in trying to protect his last surviving relative. And they turned into monsters. Jack the lad lost his head, left it where the lovers kiss. Serves him right. So, might actually be sending us to the Lover's Lake. Over here in the park. Over here, we have a zombie eating a Phoenician dude. Excuse me, dude. So, yeah. They weren't very good at their job. There's this here piece. There it is. With a book, The Revenant Within, by Sam Krieg. Who just happens to have gotten stuck on this island when everything went down. And he is a wonderful, charming, and sensitive person. Truly the nicest guy we will ever meet. Hi, Krampus. Oh, the ghost's face was upside down. We'll head this way. Got a present. Got a pre-owned tank top. It's dirty. And there was a side mission over here. Maybe it was that car. Mutilated corpse. The best mission giver. Zombies aren't the only killers about. This corpse has wounds that resemble those inflicted by a shotgun. Some marks on the body could even have come from a chainsaw. So go bother the scarecrows. The first scarecrow quickly became known for its gruesome affectation to keep the body parts of those it killed. Not intelligent so much as primitively cunning, the scarecrow showed a penchant for endless malice. Only the sharing of their pain eased their pain. And so it was that the first scarecrow, the collector, took its revenge on its creator by strangling the life out of Archie Henderson's daughter and arranging her remains for her father to find. That night, Archie ended his life with a straight razor. Nah, not really. Moment to moment is mere survival. Our capacity to evaluate Solomon Island and your capacity to evaluate yourself must come from the full equation. Continue along Solomon's coast as you would the sharp edge of a blade. Do not gape at your feet. Keep balance by focusing on the fixed points ahead, and remember to take notes, lest you be ignorant and your fall be fatal.
Critical empowerment results.
Our wisdom flows so sweet. Taste and see. Transmit. Initiate the Tatty Balkle signal. Receive. Initiate the Raggedy cadence. If I only had a brain. Illumined the reanimated. Witness the scarecrows. I think I'm going to run up and get us started on Krieg's quests. And then I might have to run to the restroom real quick. So we will go ahead and start talking here, and I will be right back.
99 filthy undead on the wall. 99 filthy undead. If one of them filthy undead were to fall. 99 filthy undead on a wall. The movies lied. They can take one to the head and keep on ticking. The dead keep rising, the buzz fades. Every day it's the same thing. Drink, shoot, ride, shoot, drink. Like a hamster on a wheel. Around and around we go. Do you ever do that? Keep going when it serves absolutely no purpose? When it's already clear you're not making any kind of difference? A reasonable man might say, this isn't working. I gotta change things up. He would do things differently, look for a way to break the cycle, find a way to give those things closure, instead of being stuck in this endless grind. But I write for a living. I make millions repeating myself. What's your excuse?
And I'm back. Did we learn anything? That's fair. Admittedly, so do we. A scant few souls escaped the fog by chance. On trembling feet, they stepped out and saw their town turned into a nightmare painting, an unstill life in waterlogged meat. In the empty streets, silence turned to sobs, sobs to shrieks. Those who vanished with the fog returned as the shambling dead. Some of the living stood transfixed by the rotting stench as their loved ones tore them to pieces. A written request for an interview with Sam Krieg, signed by Daniel Bach. Krieg is unlikely to meet the request, but your associates might appreciate a sneak peek into the author's next project. It seems unlikely Bach will get his interview, but perhaps your associates would appreciate a few pages of a discarded draft of Krieg's planned novel, The Hidden World. Well, that's not normal. Oh no, we're following multiplying ravens again. Birds. There's birds. Okay, we got one of Krampus's special items for this area. The Dead Yew Branch. A dead branch of the yew sings a syllable of her true name. The roots sink into grave soil, tickling her face. And the horns of Krampus, the horns of the holiday devil, sing a syllable of her true name and remind her of her son. It's midnight. Quick look around for the boogeyman. is! We got him. Initiate secret epilogue. You've earned a little more story before bedtime, sweetling. You looked into the bogeyman's eyes. Did you see Nathaniel Winter? Did he, through years of wicked machination, take on the shape of the frightful demigod of all children? Or is there a pre-existing archetype of flesh, a floating mask that travels all time and space, wearing its hosts more than they wear it? Yes. We did it! Hooray! And I have a bunch of points to spend on stuff. Which I think we more or less have all the skills and that we want. But we still get all the stat bonuses, so... What? I only had like 20 earlier. I got a bunch for various things. Completing lores and doing achievements and all of that. And we'll just jump back over here. Oh, I forgot to mention the Krampus rockets. It's actually like a good idea to hold on to some of these because they can get you unstuck if you get caught on the geometry somewhere. A filthy attached note reads, I hear your favorite gifts are flares. Well then, have all the flares you can stomach. A present from me to you. Hurrah, 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 Krampus. And we use them. We just kind of get launched a little bit. But it can unstick you. We've got Revenant. It's in the barn. And I think we go in that barn later. We'll get that then. Bother the zombies for now. Got a flare. Tell us, sweetling, have you heard the legend of Resurrection Joe? He is an infamous resident of Solomon Island's history. His bones have settled for a century or two, and still the locals shiver at his name. His body parts are scattered. If you can find several pieces and gather them at his grave, you may hear his story. But not for a while because he is level 50 plus. Though we may find some of his bits as we explore. This is true. This is true. But he does take a lot of inventory slots as we try to carry him around. So we will see. I can't remember where all his bits actually are. Body, gutted fisherman. So we use the flares we got to give Krieg some enrichment. Just like Sam Krieg said, not even a well-placed shot can keep the zombies down. Maybe they can be crushed to death. Try baiting to them to drive them off the bluff and see if the fall will keep them down. So now we're going to get some corpses and put them on sticks and see if the zombies will Looney Tunes their way off the cliffs. The answer is yes. The zombies are, by and large, not bright. Excuse me, I'm sightseeing. Please wait your turn. Jeez. Oh no, there's a spill of mysterious black ooze over there. I think these guys are a revenant? Maybe, maybe not. Oh well. Survival of the Dead. A bottle here has a message in it. According to the message, there are survivors holed up in houses on the south of the island near Solomon's End. Peculiar that the bottle is here, though. Someone must have intentionally put it here, but why? We'll pick that up, but maybe not do it quite yet. I think Krieg should shoot this one. Maybe. The man in the ebony tower. Occasionally, rifle shots can be heard from the nearby lighthouse. Whoever is holed up there is using zombies as target practice, perhaps to clear the way before they scavenge for supplies. It's reasonable to think that whoever is in the lighthouse is desperate. Not only would it be kind to help gather supplies for them, it also couldn't hurt to have more friends around. So we can grab some stuff to take to him. Yeah, this is just if you came around the other way. So like if you maybe came down through the school or something. Just an alternate way to force you to meet him. And we get more goodies for bringing him stuff. Not that I'll appreciate it, of course. Okay. But also, somebody's left filth barrels here. Barrels filled with a thick, oily substance lie close to a dark well. The contents seemed to cause erratic effects on all life and unlife on the island, and they warrant investigation. The barrels have been filled with the vile substance boiling in the dark well, and lined along the path and the bluff, almost as in a deliberate attempt to affect everyone and everything that passes them. We can deal with those. What are we doing here? Killing big zombies. And now we put a rock over it because that solves everything. Missed entirely, but sure it works. Anything else of interest down in this area? I don't think we spend a lot of time down here. Yes. We've solved the problem. We are the hero of the hour. Oh, hey, there's a queen. You don't get to see those very often. I don't think there's too much interesting down here. I'll head back up. We got the big zombies over there fighting the infected corpses. Rude pod carriers. They can have at it. Who is Sam Krieg to question the purpose and reason for the very wheel of life? Only a fool would willingly seek to break the circle. Consequently, Sam Krieg is a fool and not worth listening to. The undead have an equal part to play. It is for us to find out what that part is, not to attempt to remove them from the equation. Your detailed report is appreciated. The black pools also appear to multiply. Sightings are becoming increasingly frequent. We are gathering as much information as we can on this phenomenon. Change is good, but too much change, too fast, is not that. And my inventory is full again. Yay, inventory management. Everybody loves inventory management. Neck. Waste. Weapons. Email from my boss. Yeah. Now we're going to destroy some of these barrels. As you might expect, zombies that are too close turn into big ones. Which is exactly what everyone needs. And if we're too close, we get a filth stack. And that was the person who was placing the barrels. Gathering this volatile substance in barrels and placing them out along the path traveled by the innocent is a dangerous practice. It alters the intended chain of events. Your destruction of the barrels is a step towards reinstating the natural order. You are true to the will of the dragon. Only those who understand the nature of chaos, of cause and effect, of construction through destruction, should be allowed to blow on the dice when they are in motion, and we should try to find out who is walking on our grass. Gun. And that. Can I have my stuff? Thank you. That done. Upgrade this. Everyone here is just so friendly. We're just gonna ignore them. But I'm busy. Although it would be funny if some of them missed the bridge and just fell off the cliff. Oh, and I've forgotten completely to check out our agents. Your agent was wonderful in fending off the pirates until the port authorities arrived. The cargo ship and its crew are safe. Yay. Well, no, she got hurt. Your agent was unsuccessful. The Onra spirit killed the occultist and escaped the building by the time they arrived. But we still got some loot. And the treasure fleet, your agent pulled off the caper beautifully. Wealth, both mundane and esoteric, was taken from the high-security warehouse. The Phoenicians will abandon that location, but another may surface. So we got some nice loot. Who do we have? We'll send Oleg on this way. Oh, Dante's first circle. We like Dante. Dante the ghoul and taco vendor in London's Haitian Market district has a passion for the arts, philosophy, and Mexican food. Recent conversations about politics in the United States and other parts of... Oh, we just lost it. Dang. That's what I get for reading. It came from below. Reports of paranormal activity are coming in from the catacombs of France. Sources indicate a strange and ghostly sound emanating from below the streets of Paris. Send in an agent with knowledge of the secret world to conduct an investigation on their own. We'll send the Hessian. Got a special one. Night terrors. Something is stalking the halls of a hospital. Patients suffer extreme cases of night terrors, mysterious bite marks all over their bodies, and bruises on their throats. Some complain of a frightful old woman who comes in dreams or melts through the ceiling. Sightings have been reported of a horrid rat-like creature with the face of a man. A night shift nurse and hobbyist occultist have barely managed to protect the infants of the maternity ward with warding glyphs, but need help expelling the wicked presence. An agent skilled in the esoteric is preferred. We'll send Oleg. He needs the experience. And our last one for my next trick. A child's birthday party in Edinburgh, Scotland has gotten out of control. A magician hired to entertain the children has apparently acquired a unique magical relic for his performances. Without proper knowledge of how to use it, he has turned several children into stone. Get an agent over there immediately to remedy the situation and keep the event out of the press. Need to stick his things. There we go. Yes. Dante's and one other of the agent missions have a progression to them that ends in stuff that I do want to see. Yeah, children love magical artifacts. Yes. Going through all of Dante's will unlock Virgil for us. Philosopher, poet, and ghoul. Subject is adventurous and highly intelligent for its kind. Fashion sense remains questionable. Typically wears a portable cassette player, headphones, and a Roman-style toga. The length of the subject's cohabitation with humans is unknown. Currently resides in London's Haitian Market District. Reportedly frequents the English countryside via London's subterranean tunnels. Use subject's intellectual hunger for classic literature, the arts, and vinyl records. And the other one I'm looking for is for Geronimo de Montejo. Subject claims to be a Spanish conquistador of the 16th century. Geronimo says that he did not share the hunger for gold and conquest of his contemporaries, so he left them behind to discover ever newer worlds. Whether this is true, or he is merely a quixotic man gone insane, is irrelevant. What is relevant is that he can map the time and space fluctuations of Agartha better than any known operative. It is believed he gained this ability via contact with the Third Eight artifact. Subject is invaluable. And he will go on to unlock additional content. If we follow his quest all the way through to its completion.
You know, you're just like one of my characters. You love evil. You don't run from it. You don't try to avoid it. You welcome it. You crave it. You invite the pain and you cherish the suffering. You dive right into the filth and you make no attempt to wash it off. And when you finally climb back out, it doesn't matter how bad it smells, how the stench and the taint cling to you. You just can't wait to dive back in. Like a dope fiend hankering for a fix, you don't want it to ever end. You need it. Your entire identity, your raison d'etre, is at stake. Think about it. Who would you be? What would you be without this? Without your precious war on evil, without your secret world, your sacred brotherhoods, your ranks and titles and rituals, you'd be just another rat stuck in the race with a dead-end job, living for a paycheck and the weekends. One long booze-soaked downhill slide towards the dark and cold grave. But you probably believe in what you do. Believe it's right, that it's good. You soak in it so others don't have to. You take one for the team. You bend over and spread your legs and let the darkness inside. And somehow you justify it all with utilitarian pragmatism. You're a bona fide American hero. Get the hell out of here. Go find an abyss to jump into. Go soak yourself in filth. Maybe it'll be different this time. Maybe you'll save them all. Maybe you'll finally find some goddamn peace. Some closure. You're just like every single character I've ever written. Fucked from page one.
So, fun fact, he may not actually be the real Sam Krieg. I believe in one of the Halloween missions from the original Secret World, it turns out the real Sam Krieg was taken by the dragon and has been hidden away somewhere. So he may just be a body double. talk to him for a bit.
I've sold almost 100 million books. That number baffles even me. It's not like I write for anyone but myself. I'm not what you'd call a populist. Murder, rape, incest, infanticide, sick, twisted, and cruel characters, suffering similar fates. Monsters, human and inhuman, haunting desolate spaces. A world controlled by misanthropes, torn asunder, reduced to bodily fluids, and still, people keep reading. Says a whole lot about the state of the world, doesn't it? My head isn't a good place for a visit, but you read one of my novels, that's exactly where you're going. I got a mean streak a mile wide, and the things I've seen make me loathe mankind. If we were to be wiped out tomorrow, all of us, I'd say not a minute too soon. Are you here for a signature? I'll make it out to Christ Almighty, since you're so intent on dying for our sins.
Crowley took him up on that offer. She's made him sign several things, just out of spite, really.
Can't say I'm surprised to find your type in this place, at this point in time. I've been writing about your world for decades, and the secrets speak to me, torture me in my dreams. My only relief was with the keyboard, or a bottle. But the madness would always catch up with me, always pull me back, and I don't have the capacity for ignorance. I can't unsee what I've seen. I can't give back what I've learned. I can't come home after a long day at the office, beat the kids, fuck the wife, and pass out in front of a ball game with a case of Bud. I envy the sheep and their infinite capacity for ignorance. You know what they say, idiocy is bliss. Kingsmouth was founded by the Illuminati. This whole community, the entire island, was built by Kabbalists. They claim they picked this place because it was isolated, easy to protect. Bullshit. There's power here, begging to be released, and the Illuminati, they tried their best. In their arrogance, they believed they could tame it, use it somehow. That's why the entire island is riddled with esoteric markings and archaic symbols, with tunnels and secret rooms. They dug deep, and what they found scared them. They wised up eventually, moved on to bigger and better things, left the town to rot. Those who remained, well, who would they leave behind? Not their best and brightest, I can guarantee you that. Those people, they kept feeding on the power until it permeated everything. The town, the forest, the school. That's what brought me here, to succumb myself in evil, to understand it, learn about it, write about it. But it seemed to have faded, like the paint on the picket fences. This place seemed no more cruel than any other small town on this blighted continent, filled with pettiness and jealousy and murderous thoughts, but human. Boy, was I wrong. I'd say I got more than I bargained for, but you might think I got exactly what I deserved, and you'd probably be right. The day the fog rolled in, I stood up here in this ivory tower and watched it all. It came like an avalanche, like a tsunami, obscuring everything in its path. First the shoreline, then the fields, the forest, the town. It lingered for a while before receding. There was no one left. The fog took them, all of them. At least that's what I thought at first glance. Turned out there were others who escaped the fog, somehow. Me and the sheriff, she was paying a friendly visit. I was above it all. It didn't touch us. That night it was deathly quiet. The fog around the island obscured everything, sight and sound. One or two people tried to leave. They walked into that thick mist, and all we heard were the screams. The next morning with the dawn came the townsfolk returning from the sea, like one of my stories, followed by what the Wabanaki once called the Pale Men, the Drow. That's when I decided to stay put and keep writing. There's a strange inspiration to be found in imprisonment.
And I believe from the same Halloween mission, it's implied that he might already be filth infected, but by a different strain that maybe protected him from the fog. But anyway, we have a novel, The Lighthouse, Chapter 12. Jonah felt an acute and intense sense of dread slowly overcome him as he watched the savage coast beneath, and the monotonous shadows of the cold, flickering light from the old lighthouse. He could see them come in from the sea, slimy and ancient beings of the most terrible nightmares, waking from their cold graves in the deep and slowly walking to the shore. The time had finally come, and Jonah started to laugh hysterically to himself. Fear and wonder, he thought. Fascination or plain insanity. Then he ran out to greet his inevitable destiny. But yeah, it's like, I believe it's called Scary Stories of Solomon Island. And you kind of go through and hunt down different little legends from the area by different characters. And his talks about making a deal with someone to make them a better writer. And like when they shake hands or something, the guy has ink quills for fingertips, and they inject a black substance into him. Or whoever it is that's being written about, anyway. With like the promise to make him a famous writer, etc., etc. Anyway, we're gonna go bother the dog. Hi. Check out this fine rusty shipwreck. There's something about these that I remember somebody mentioning. Oh, hey, yeah, it's full of corpses. Oh, an interesting cover on that book. Undead, Chapter 3. Allison just ran, refusing to look back. It was like one of those dreams she used to have as a child where she was being chased. She would run and run, but the harder she ran, the slower she was going, until the beats would catch up, and she would wake up screaming in a cold sweat. She could hear them now, catching up with her as she approached the cliffs. She stopped, heaving for breath, and finally turned around. There they were, and this was no dream. The dead had risen from their graves, and now they were out for blood. Allison was all alone. It was do or die. If she could only reach the old junkyard, she might be able to find a car and get out of there. Yes, this boat was transporting corpses. And I don't believe we ever get any explanation for it. But I know that people theorize that they were shipping the bodies to or from the academy. Since they teach necromancy. And students can make their very first undead. Well, yes, everybody needs an undead companion. We did fight one earlier when we were over by the school. They're very shrieky. The Resident Horror, Chapter 6. George glanced over at Eliza and contemplated his misfortune. Would the world ever give him a break? He shook his head and felt like crying. Just like him to run out of gas in the middle of nowhere. Just like her to not be amused. He stepped out of the car and looked around, hoping to find a miracle. It was getting dark and cold wind was sweeping through the damp forest. A loud click. Were they not alone? Other cars around them, rusty and broken down. A graveyard of cars. A loud click. An engine coughing to a start. A light from the old barn. He spun around as Eliza screamed. The barn, he thought. They had to make it to the barn. And conveniently, there is a barn over here. Almost like Krieg has some kind of strange precognition. And a corpse. They hold a special place among the restless dead. Not just crudely revivified clay, but the animate fragments of an evil life. Devious and clever. The self-aware plague. The pestilent agency. Terror and pain are their food. We speak of the murder of one. We speak of the revenants. Yeah, it's true. Marked, Chapter 9. In the shadow of the sparkling flame inside the old barn, he started the ritual. The virgin blood, the ancient symbol. He slowly started reciting the sacred text, careful to keep his rhythm even and his voice firm. Towards the end, he let his voice rise to a crescendo, closed his eyes, and tilted his head back, arms raised towards the realm of the old gods. Exhausted, he sank to his knees and looked up at his magnificent creations. It was his masterpiece. At last, finally, he would keep his promise to his master. The old house on the bluff was marked. The trail of blood would never stop. So we're gonna go poke this thing. That's normal. Eventually things will come to attack us. There it is. Poor inventory. I may need to... Yes. I may need to stop at, like, the Council of Venice merchant to dump some stuff here in a bit. Here's a draft of the Hidden World we were looking at earlier. Hidden World, draft. When all the dreams have been dreamed, and all the whispers whispered, you're left with nothing but one thing. Everything is true. The living dead stalk the night, and the flames of hell burn bright. There is no dream, and the voices are not in your head. Only the chosen ones can deliver the world from this evil. Only the children of the bees have this power to clean up the filth and light the torch that would illuminate this hidden world. Oh, thank you for letting me read. I like you. I'm sorry I have to kill you. It was very polite. Let me deal with my inventory. Yeah. They're like expensive. Well, I guess this one isn't. That's only marks of favor. I can do marks of favor. After a while, they start costing Aurum, though. I don't want to pay Aurum. This one, there, okay. This is another place where I don't know why the houses sing, but they do. Transmit. Initiate tenderness signal. Receive. Sweetling. The dragon reports enter the connected carousel. They spin and spin, yang and yin, until routed to some IP. Never the same he or she. Rinse, repeat, the chaos beat. But today all soul is mystified. Their access to you has been denied. Witness, encouragement. Don't be huffy because we hack. The buzzing appreciates all you do. Can't we be a ripple too? You know, sometimes bees just need to say hi. Read between the lines to see the pattern. The writer writes for himself what he knows to be true. Each time he rewrites himself closer to that truth. He thinks himself master of events, though he is a servant to them. For the sequence of events are preordained. The sequence of responses to them are not. Read between the lines and see decisions made and decisions not made repeating, infinite, like fractals. We do not predict, we explore possibilities. It is not the dragon's purpose to control the world, but to free it from controlling influence. That is that. Got like one more for Krieg up here. Last one.
We may curse heaven for our fate, but hell is a device of our own construction. The Ebony Tower, #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, 5 weeks running. We are the architects of our own destiny. There's no innocence, only ignorance. Nobody could ever accuse me of empathy, of genuinely caring for people. In fact, they'd probably say that Sam Krieg is a cold son of a bitch. And they'd be right. People don't interest me. The acts of people, now those are intrinsically interesting. Particularly the consequences of those actions. Cause and effect, crime and punishment. It's every book I ever wrote and sold 1 million copies of. So what did the good folk of Kingsmith do to deserve their fate? I tell you, they were evil. Kingsmith, Solomon County, pure evil, all of it. Like a modern-day Sodom and Gomorrah. Always was, from the moment the pilgrims stepped off the boat and set forth on these shores. There's a dark rot festering behind the flower print veil of the Labor Day barbecues, homecoming parades, and maple syrup. I should know. The deeper I dug, the darker the hole, the more I found. A goddamn abyss of foreshadowing. I've seen evidence of acts so cruel and demented, so twisted and sick, right out there, that people might confuse them for one of my books. And if you've read any of them, and I'm sure you have, you'd know that this place has blood on its hands, and plenty of crime to its name. I'm sure you know this one. Show a gun on the mantelpiece in the first act. Before the curtain goes down, it's going to blow someone's scrotum off. Upon the wicked shall fall a rain of fire and brimstone.
Found a discarded letter. Are you shitting me, Lucinda? Good for public relations? I think you get off on connecting me with these lunatic fans. I think you're hoping I'll kill someone. Wouldn't it be wonderful to bump sales and get rid of me in the most spectacular fashion? This fanatic you found is even more obsessed than the redhead in Tulsa. Sure, I got information out of him, but it took everything I had not to blow his balls off. And I bet I could have gotten away with it, too. Your Honor, look at the website this man has about me. Look at this picture I had to throw in the garbage. Notice the pathetic eyes begging me to end his miserable life. I would also like to submit into evidence this goddamn fucking town. I had to abandon my car at an intersection because the gravel road, with the stupidest sentimental name I have ever heard, became too narrow. Oh, and thank you for the GPS, Lucinda. It tried its utmost to steer me into fiery fucking death. It does. But we saw that car earlier, so we can go look at it. Whee! Yes. Also possible. Certainly could have been drunk. Which way was it? I think it's love or it's just regret. We'll follow. Here it is. It found a tree.
Quick access inventory updated.
So now we get to do the fun game of figuring out where he came from.
Your journey has been calculated. Please exit onto a mapped road. Continue eastbound for 200 yards and take the second exit. Prepare to turn right. Turn right and follow the road for 500 yards. Continue to follow the road. Prepare to turn left. Turn left now. Navigation is paused. Your journey has been calculated. Please exit onto a mapped road. Continue eastbound for 200 yards and take the second exit. Prepare to turn right. Turn right and follow the road for 500 yards. Continue to follow the road. Prepare to turn left. Turn left now. Navigation is paused.
I was, yes. Well, the game sound stops when I tab away from it. Uh, there we go. Sorry. So we have his lovely blog. They're excited. Some covers. Your 4-digit security codes all come from his books. Oh, all kinds of codes. Biggest fan. Uh, Probably mostly before then. Cannot remember off the top of my head which one we want here. So not that one. No. Let me be lazy and double check. Right. It is last 4 digits of the Resident Horrors ISBN. There we go. Because otherwise I think it is kind of just a guess and check. Unless you like figure that a residence horror. Foucault's Pendulum, hardcover original. So that is also, we're going to look up the ISBN for that. We need need... So yeah, we need the ISBN 13. Which is also just half me being lazy and looking it up where I ran it before. And here we are. Welcome back, Sam Krieg rules. Kingsmith. Solomon Island is as a magnet for grimy souls. Is there any other kind? King Arthur's fibroma, things that go bump in the mouth. Occult ambitions and the soil's turmoil fed on each other like alien quarrels, like acne and depression. Perfect fit for Illuminati doctrine. Max influence, min exposure. Abandon the flight to New York. Gone corporate. Infiltrated by communists? Island power hasn't waned, only feeds and festers. Founded in 1798 as a private boarding school, front for something, this being the academy. Smuggling the devil's gifts, funded by Russian prince, run by the Illuminati, rituals on every syllabus. Rebuilt in 1850 after the Great Fire. Rebuilt in 1904 after the earthquake. Rebuilt in 1967 after the explosion. Soviets wanted it back. The most feared track and field team in the state. 3. Henderson Farm. Henderson had talent for excruciating arts. Always restless, somber, volatile. Broke from occult circles to build farm. Why? Oldest son crushed in 1904. Bolsheviks? Wife's suicide. Enter sorrow. Dug deeper into necromancy, thanatology, Egyptian rites. Both daughters died. Enter madness and melancholy. Exit with razor. And they're fairly good at it, too. They just have munchies. Blue Ridge Mine. Built during the mining boom of the 1870s. Machines greased with blood. Conflict with the Wabanaki. They had socialist sympathies. Mine was shut down. Reopened in 1970s. Foreman shot the shaman. Protesters jailed. Land sold to third party. Unable to trace. Could be Soviet. Recently started quarrying at the site. Soil is like skin. No limit to how deep our nails can dig. Atlantic Island Park. Maine magnate Nathaniel Winter, born Kaminsky, bought the Henderson farm in the late 1970s. Wanted to build amusement park. Front for Soviet missile base. Henderson's dark legacy in the air. Henderson's blood soaking in the soil. Winter fast-tracked his permits, money and connections, and pushed through all the red tape and resistance, hell-bent on children's amusement. Overlook Motel. Motel built in 1960. Shirley's Temple. Cold day in November, 1986. The Little American Town Doctrine. 5 guests disappear. 5 points on a pentagram. Iron curtains. Journalists been poking around. Cold War communication space. Walls were known to be thin. Yes, it's impressive how much this guy has actually gotten right. Black House, built in 1974 by Carrie Killian, a single woman from Miami. May have spent time in Minsk. Locals didn't take kindly to her arts, riled up rumors, torch-bearing mob, bar the doors and windows the night we burned her down. Now it's a party house for the punks at Innsmouth. Frat initiation rites. Beat the frights day and night. No one ever does. Sam Krieg. Born September 11th, 1951. History teacher, married 3 times. Anne Marie Ellsworth left him in 1983. Glasnost was a front. TV star Bobby Mann, born Popescu, Left him in 1986. Third wife, Elizabeth Galvin, died of breast cancer in 2002. Writes letters to his dead wife. Loves cashmere. Hates the Habs. Misanthrope. Knows all about the darkness in our hearts. The cadence of shit. Conspiracy buff. Dominant theme in his novels. People pulled into the abyss. Drinking problems. Writer's block. OCD. And that's all he wrote. This local conspiracy theorist, John Anderson, is an entirely American construct. His paranoias are rooted in the Cold War. His favorite author is a second-rate genre writer. His knowledge of secret societies begins and ends with information about New York. That is why the Illuminati are looking for this man. He fled the island soon after his meeting with Krieg because he knew they would come. One man's informant is another man's bane, is another man's commodity. If the Illuminati really wish to find this man, they need look no further than a locked room in a nameless town inhabited by muted monks. It is amazing how far silence can go in getting a man to tell you everything he knows. So the dragon took him. This may not be the worst thing? Question mark. But now we know. So, where do we want to head next? We still got business with Wolf. Let's see what he's got for us. Hey, Dougie. Oh boy, it's Jack.
The key to long life is, apparently, to sit like a tortoise, walk like a pigeon, and sleep like a dog. I have trouble with the first two, but I can sleep through anything. Even here. Word travels fast in this place, and the word is you've met Jack-o'-lantern. I've seen him down near the rides, mostly at night. He's drawn to this place like the bear to the honey jar. He's got history with the farm before it got turned into an amusement park. Bad history. But I keep out of his way, and he keeps out of mine. My battle's not with Jack. He's all yours, Kemosabe. You'll, want to watch out for the will-o'-wisps. They're a good signpost you're getting close. That, and the pumpkins. After meeting the melon-headed freak face to vegetable, I lost my appetite for pumpkin pie. I just keep seeing an eye in there.
Perfectly fine and normal. Hey, good doggy. Yes, sir. I'll offload some junk while I'm over here. Hi, you look very nice. Don't need two of these, don't need two of these. I don't need my candies. Will you buy my candy? Will not buy my candy. Well, a couple things gone. Thing. That. It's a little better. Now Jack and wisps. Scarecrows. Birds. And since these guys are quest related, this is a pretty good place to farm wisps. For the kill achievements. And there is normal Jack. Who didn't even get his hysterical laughter off. Wisps. But all agree that the wisps obey the will of Jack. Do you know the story of Jack Sweetling? Ask Danny Dufresne. Ask Deputy Andy. They will tell you a version. They will tell you of Stingy Jack, the sinner who tricked the devil. The sinner welcome in neither heaven nor hell. He wanders between worlds, carrying his dreadful light. Jack of the Lantern, we call his name. Yeah. And yet he never shall. Hey, you gonna get down? No? Hi again. Bye again. They come from the caitiffs of society. They come from those consumed by a drive to spread misery. They are born from messy, violent deaths, often by powerful magic. Through just the right mix of these ingredients, a revenant takes shape. Their souls are so saturated by the actions they took in life that death does not claim them. They slip through, their malevolence spreading into a swarm mind, taking shape as creatures associated with darkness and disease. Ravens, rats, spiders, worms, moths, and the like. And this is an okay place to score some Revenant kills, because Revenants are so rare in the game. There's a better place that we'll see not too far into the future. It's a little bit better of a farm since this one will like automatically try to progress to the next stage. I can't recall if it's... I think it's harder to summon the revenants here. But there's another mission that doesn't progress until you pick up an item nearby, so you can let them just keep spawning. It's still slow because you can only pull like 2 or 3 at a time. But it is a little bit better. Let's go murder the coach. Coach? Hi! And we can come back for the lab meet. And here is the same message in the bottle mission we got, like, over on the other side. Yeah, you know what zombies do to a person. Secrets best buried. An arcane tome has been carelessly discarded out in the open. A book of this nature should be protected and kept from wandering eyes or hostile forces. The book is sealed, and one can only speculate about what dark secrets it contains. Better put the book somewhere relatively safe until it can be studied in detail. So I'll just grab that. Protect it from some wisps. And the book explode. No literacy for us. And Jack's just hiding over here. Or not. Pretty much we just kind of poke these pumpkin piles until we find him. There he is. Hi, Jack. And that is for sure the last time we will ever see him. The times turned Jack the lad into a pitiful figure. The local horror story, the one children have long been taught to fear, must now accept that he is not the only terror in town, and certainly not the greatest. There are no children now, and skipping through Archie Henderson's farm is hardly the worst you can do at night. We do not mind playing Jack's old nightmare game. However, there is little room for pity in the world of chaos. The next time you play with Jack, consider this his misery and make it the last. So, let us see. That's that one. We can go visit the beach houses. What are we supposed to be doing here? We got doodads. Oh, we just gotta combine the doodads. The doodads have been combined. The discovery of these relic pieces explain what drew the interest of the Phoenicians towards the park. It seems they were also led on by Beaumont's machinations. Continue to track him down and be mindful of the depths in which we are being led. This man is a force to be reckoned with.
Critical empowerment results.
We have just so many things. Constantly things.
Critical empowerment results.
So, we'll do this one with the houses. It's a quickie. Well, this is the housing area that Crowley's been kind of keeping an eye on and keeping cleaned up and the power on in case anybody needs emergency housing. Because there's nobody here, really. There were a bunch of Drog, making their zombies look a bit more human and sending them out to lure more victims. So Opal lives in one of these houses now. It has a nicer garden. Yeah. Through the generations in fast food, though the generations in fast food dilutes you, some of your species still have a spark of instinct. Some survived, fortified, showed ingenuity, and became cold killers of the undead. But as much as they fight back, there is no escape, not by land, air, or sea. The fog chokes all who try to leave. Electronics failure, inevitable. Nervous system failure, inevitable. Suffocation, inevitable. Flight is impossible. Fight is possible. For a while. Hello. You got some nice seaweed growing on you for their friend? You were on the roof. You know, you get some nice beachfront property. Most of the undead have cleared out. Not the worst thing. Nothing else interesting over here. not allowed to go out and look at that boat, apparently. There's an invisible wall. Disappointing. What a cruel trick of the dreaming ones. If only. All of our terminals are currently occupied. We apologize for the temporary inconvenience, but this represents an essential stress test of our competitors' networks. We must evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of their invisible systems, as well as their reactions under pressure. Please do not hesitate to send further reports. It is possible at this time that they will slip through the network cracks. However, these lost reports could end up being the most significant of all, precisely because they remained unread. So we're probably coming to the end, but we can stop in and visit the school. And these are the familiars. The students' first necromancy projects. They're fun. And they make the best little squeaky noises.
Hello?
Don't worry. You're not interrupting a parent-teacher evening or night. I'm the witch doctor in residence. It's my lot to teach the kids responsibility over the balance of life and death, given and taken. So this has really pissed the curriculum up a wall.
It is a great setback for us all. Loss of life among the faculty always brings up inconvenient questions.
I appreciate the pep talk, HJ.
The last time Mr. Montauk gave me a pep talk, I had nightmares for the rest of the semester.
Anyway, you may already have run into some of the students' familiars out there. They look a fright, but, well, think back to your first shop class projects and how they turned out. Without the kids around to control them, they're running wild. Eventually they'll go pure bonkers, and things here will go even more pear-shaped. I wish there was a cleaner way to contain them, but...
I recommend delivery of a swift, decapitating blow with a spade. A fire axe has a distressing tendency to rebound from the vertebrae.
From experience, aye?
A teacher is only as good as his tools.
Quick access inventory updated.
Learning.
Please, no running in the halls. They are quite slick with food.
Duly noted. There's all kinds of lore and stuff to pick up. We have familiars to bother. These ones like beverages. Which also kind of goes to the bingo possibly being made with anima. Well, yes. I can't remember if I've mentioned it before, but Bingo is a recurring brand across Funcom properties. I think it first appeared in like The Longest Journey. Yeah. It's fine. It's just what they sound like. Well, one of the higher-ups at Funcom has also said that they consider all of their properties to be canon to the secret world in some way, shape, or form. There's a city we'll visit later that appears in their Conan Exiles game. That's the wrong button. For all this, student faculty casualties always fell under acceptable levels, but none of the magical defenses could stop the fog, initiate the now. You know, sometimes people just die at school. It's a learning experience for everyone. Hi. Oh, there you are. Those glowing bits on the wall are where past faculty and students have been interred. And we'll also have to, sort that out at some point. There is a grumbling and the discontent frequencies from the vocal organs of some Kingsmouth folk. While Innsmouth Academy students enjoy the luxuries of a privately funded boarding school, other children must commute off the island. Some find it hard to accept that the only school on the island is restricted to the rich and the spoiled. The envy and dismay built and culminated in a petition to the State Board of Education with claims that the school took bribes in exchange for grades. The investigation found no proof of misconduct, and the case died away. Ghost. These ones are playing tennis. It's a little concerning when my ghost looks identical to the other ghosts we're supposed to be fighting. Anyway, over here we have a flesh golem. This one is specifically several familiars that have piled on top of each other and kind of merged together. We're just gonna poke it. The rabbi forgets the bridge, leaves the paper in the machine. It goes in search of a master and finds children that need hugging. It hugs them until their smiles split and their teeth strike the cobbles like tiny raindrops. It's so cuddly. In Kingsmouth, nostalgia has teeth and memories are hungry. Welcome to Innsmouth Academy. Built in 1798, the school has been rebuilt and renovated several times since. The colonial Georgian main building, erected in 1906, dominates the grounds today. And now we're going to set this flesh lump on fire. It will smell delightful. Yeah, we can see he's got lots of little faces on him. Oh no, he's perfectly capable of getting up and running around. And bits falling off, and you know how it goes. Behold the evident truth. That which is created will turn upon the creators. Obedience is a passing season, a calm brief enough to reassure the senseless before it falls apart. The way of all ordered things. In this case, you have stilled the descent to chaos. But remember what you have borne witness to. Remember that the tools used to build a thought structure become its undoing. It is not yet Innsmouth Academy's time. Too few young minds are present to be imprinted, to receive the lessons scrawled on a blank blackboard in an empty room. So yeah, that was fun. We learned things. We will attempt to remember where the lab meat was, because I would like to kill it. Our wisdom flows so sweet. Taste and see. Transmit, initiate the suture signal. Receive, initiate the revivification process. It's alive! It's alive! Illumine the reanimated. Witness the familiars. Is there a way out? Possibly. Yeah, hi. Yes, in all their skinny naked glory. And their weird noises. We'll grab this one. Trespassers will be zombified. A townie jacket near the old block and lacrosse field implies there might have been someone else on campus when the fog rolled in. Trespassers were present on Innsmouth Academy grounds near the lacrosse field when the fog rolled in from the sea. Find and deal with them. Our wisdom flows so sweet. Taste and see. Transmit, initiate New England signal. Receive, initiate the erudite frequency. Your journey to success begins here. Initiate Montag syntax. Witness, Innsmouth Academy. So we're going to fight this lacrosse team. You don't go to this school. A pile of dead leaves scatter. Due to its Illuminati affiliation, the Academy endured several attacks over the years. Thrice it fell. Thrice it was rebuilt. The signs and the hiss of the leaves point to Templar involvement. In 1852, it burnt. In 1904, a ritually conjured earthquake rent it asunder. In 1967, an accidental application of the dimensional portals along the then theoretical Escher curve destroyed the elementalism lab. As you do. There we are. I wanted to escape. Ha-ha! Funny how that sometimes happens. And I was thinking the lab meat was somewhere around here. No, not here. Maybe further down here then. Over there. There it is.
Additional assignment received. Inventory.
I wanted to go to the school and introduce the familiars there before we came over here. I also get these kind of burned or leathery because here's lab meat. You can get a proper look at him with all his eyes and teeth and miscellaneous bits. Just kind of squelchy. Over here, we have an arm. Which is for if we want to try to summon Resurrection Joe. Well, you see, Orochi have been working. Where's the wisps? There's. Guys, I'm busy. Jack looked up from Samantha's naked body to see Henderson looming over. To his daughter, in a voice of ice, he but gave a command to dress. But Jack was in line for an altogether fiercer punishment. Henderson said words older than continents, and Jack felt himself change. "You've defiled my farm, boy. You've spilt your seed where only mine should grow. Now you'll reap what should have grown." Terrific pain, and Jack felt the bones of his skull split, felt a heat where his eyes should be. He ran east to the river and looked down at his face, only to see a jack-o'-lantern where once there had been flesh and face. Jack of the field, Gordhart, Lord of the Patch, we call his name. Everything tends to be true, sweetling. Whichever Jack rules the patch of Kingsmouth, the ghost lights, the wisps, come when he calls, and dance in the night. There will always be a glow at the edge of sight and reason, leading the unwary off the road. We'll see if we can get into a decent hell instance, and that will probably be it for tonight. Maybe we can get part of a cute Christmassy outfit for Neil. Hopefully there are more people than just this. We've done pretty good progress. Slowly but surely we whittle her down. Down she goes into the snow pile. think that will be it for this evening. We got some elfin cap and tunic, so I will force Neil to wear those next time, perhaps. But thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a good evening.